Hey guys, how's it going? Uriel Kame here, and today I'm going to share with you the 2 best times to eat carbs. And it's probably not what you think. So there's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of fear around carbohydrates because everyone thinks that they're so bad for us. And I mean, the truth is that the wrong carbohydrates are bad for us. Simple carbohydrates like breads, pastas, cereals, pastries, muffins, stuff like that, that's not going to really help us lose weight. It's not going to help us improve our health. So we're assuming that we're eating good quality carbs, right? Things like sweet potatoes, even cooked then cooled regular potatoes, lentils, legumes, great sources of carbohydrates and protein, and then vegetables and fruit. They're also sources of carbs, right? You knew that. So I want to share with you the 2 best times to have these foods. First is right after your workout. After you work out is the prime time for you to get carbohydrates into your muscles. This is important because your muscles use carbohydrates in the form of glycogen mostly during a workout. So if we don't replenish the muscles afterwards, it's like driving your car into the ground without ever refilling the gas tank. Okay, so that's kind of the same thing here, is you want to replenish the fuel that you have used from a carbohydrate perspective, and carbohydrates are most easily absorbed right after a workout. And this is the only exception to the time you would want to have a simple carb. So let's say you had a grueling workout, sweat inducing, and I'm not talking this, so the example I'm about to give you is if you're doing something really intense, okay? So you're sweating, you're exhausted. This is the time where you want to have a simple sugar coming into your body, right? Maybe it's like a homemade natural Gatorade, like the one I have that I've mentioned several times before that you can find on my YouTube channel. Just search natural Gatorade Yuri, you'll find it. Simple things like bananas, grapes, watermelon, dates, those are all great sources of simple sugars that you can have right after your workout. Don't worry too much about the protein shakes right after the workout. If you want to have a shake, have some protein there for sure, but also get the carbs in there. Get some banana in there, get some good carbs, blueberries, berries of all kinds to increase the carbohydrate intake right after the workout. Very important. Otherwise, you're going to feel tired. You're going to really do some damage to your thyroid. Not a good thing. So that's number 1. The second best time to have carbs, and you might fall off your chair when I say this. The second best time to have carbs is at night. That's right. Yes, nighttime, not for breakfast. Please stop eating oatmeal and cereal and bagels and nonsense like that for breakfast. It is killing you. Not only is the nature of those very foods bad, but spiking your blood sugar first thing in the day offsets your entire circadian rhythm. It suppresses cortisol release, which is supposed to be high in the morning, and it just sets your blood sugar on a nasty roller coaster for the rest of the day. In the morning, focus on protein, eggs, protein shake, whatever, okay? Have oatmeal later in the day. I'm serious. If you want to have oatmeal, if you want to have pancakes for dinner, check out the video as well. It's on YouTube. Have them later in the day. And the reason for this is because, before I say that, you will not store this stuff as fat. It doesn't matter if you have carbs in the morning, at night. In terms of caloric intake, it doesn't matter because your body is going to use the calories. It's going to use them anyways. It doesn't matter if they're coming in at night or at the middle part of the day. It doesn't matter if you're sitting on the couch or active at night. It's all the same stuff, assuming total calories remains the same. The beautiful thing about eating carbohydrates at night is mainly as it relates to helping you sleep. And before I get into that, let me also mention that Arnold Schwarzenegger was a huge fan of eating carbohydrates later in the day, and it's called carb backloading. This is very, very common in a lot of bodybuilding circles, and he used to eat several pies in some cases at night after a heavy day of training. So there's a lot of research behind this stuff. Again, I don't need to bore you with all of it here, but just suffice it to say that if you have carbohydrates later in the day, here's what's going to happen. If you have your carbohydrate meal about 4 hours before you go to bed, again, it shouldn't be high glycemic anyways, so if you're having pancakes, make sure that they're healthy-ish pancakes, good amount of protein in there, good amount of flax. not necessarily flaxseed, but fiber to, again, reduce the glycemic load, but you still want carbohydrates in there. What carbohydrates are going to do late in the day is they are going to increase your brain's ability to produce melatonin, which is going to help you sleep better. And the reason that happens is because when you increase your blood sugar a little bit, insulin is going to remove sugar out of the blood. It's also going to remove a lot of the amino acids out of the blood. And it's going to leave free tryptophan circulating in your body. And that tryptophan is going to cross the blood-brain barrier in your brain. It's going to turn into serotonin, and that serotonin is going to turn into melatonin. And that is a very important hormone to help you sleep. Okay? So that's one of the primary reasons you want to have carbohydrates later in the day. Again, you don't need to go crazy with bowls upon bowls of pasta, but I'm just getting you to not be scared of doing so, of not adding carbohydrates later in the day. So let's look at a typical example of a potential meal for dinner. Maybe a fillet of salmon, beautiful side of vegetables, maybe some steamed kale, some Swiss chard, broccoli, whatever you like, a side salad, and then maybe you have about a cup of mashed sweet potato, right? So that could be an example. Or maybe you have a cup of brown rice if you want, or a cup of lentils. So I'm not saying, hey, have copious amounts of pizza, have copious amounts of bread and pasta. I'm saying don't worry and don't be scared of the good carbs because they serve a purpose. They're very healthy and they're going to help you sleep better. And sleep is really probably the most important thing, arguably, that's going to help you lose weight and keep it off in the long run because of its impact on your circadian rhythm. And your circadian rhythm really dictates all of your hormonal activity. So it's really important. So there you go. The 2 best times to have your carbs: right after your workout and about 4 hours before you go to bed. And just make sure the carbs, at least around bedtime, are not high glycemic, okay? You don't want to be eating candy bars and stuff like that. It's still good quality carbs. And there you go. So what do you think about this? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think the research is crazy? But remember, you're going to find scientific studies to support any point of view. So ultimately, you have to find what's going to work best for you. So let me know in the comments below. Join me over at the blog. The link for that is below for more details on this topic. And remember to subscribe to my channel. Click on the icon somewhere in this video so I can hook you up with more awesome stuff to make fit and healthy simple for you. So once again, I'm Uriel Kame. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.